Hi guys, so Crazy Dave is back in town and I've made a little scene from Star Wars. It's something I've wanted to make for quite some time, so I thought it'd be quite a good way of getting Crazy Dave back. And anyone new to Crazy Dave, well basically he's my test dummy for anything I scratch build or make from rubbish basically. So this video is actually sponsored by Dark Fire Designs, who sent me the STLs for the TIE Fighter and the X-Wing. But they also do a whole variety of other sort of Star Wars related kind of stuff. There is a link in the description, so go check them out guys. Obviously for what I needed, I decided to go for the X-Wing and say the TIE Fighter, just because I've always wanted to make this little scene, as obviously growing up I loved Star Wars and obviously saw it back in 1977. So it's a simple case of obviously downloading the STL files for the two vehicles that I needed, and then using my Anycubic Photon Mono X, it's a simple case of just dragging and dropping all the files in. As you can see, they are quite large, so I wanted to rescale these to about 50%, just because I knew I was going to make a diorama for this, and I didn't want it to be too big, basically. Obviously, that's the other thing I love. I say this all the time, but I absolutely love about 3D printers is the fact you can make things whatever size you desire. And for me, the size is typically determined by the size of my desk. As a lot of you guys know, I don't have a large area to work from, so as much as I would like to do some larger things, I kind of can't because I don't have the room. I've been using the Anycubic Photon Mono X for quite some time now, and must admit, yeah, I am very pleased with it. Obviously, it's a nice size build plate, so you can get lots on there. It's relatively quiet and reasonably quick, so it's it's ideal. There's links in the description, guys, to where you can go and check this out for yourself. I would highly recommend this as a printer to use. And I'd say the only time I actually get failures in any of the prints is generally when I've made the supports, and yeah, they've not come out too well, which is why obviously I love using figures and models that come with supports, which these ones do. And yeah, the supports on these are fantastic. So I've cleaned them up. Now I've got them in some hot water, and the supports, well, as you can see, just fall apart. So this is the big difference when you get a lovely company that does the supports for you. There's very little cleanup to do afterwards. And I say the warm water really is just dissolving these supports. Lovely. I made one kind of mistake here though. I kind of printed off both the TIE Fighter and the X-Wing together, and I also made some separate, or not separate, but some spare parts. So yes, it's kind of a bit of a jigsaw puzzle now to put it all together, but it's not too bad because obviously I kind of know what the thing looks like, so you can't really go too wrong. And yeah, everything's sort of slotted in rather nice, so I don't really have to do any sort of clean up really, other than obviously the cleaning the resin and the UV light and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, the actual supports came away nicely and all the parts went together really well. As I mentioned, obviously say Crazy Dave is coming back, which basically means I am going to start doing some scratch building. So guys, if anything you want to see me make, whether it be like a tank, a plane, submarine, spaceship, whatever kind of thing you can think of that Crazy Dave can be the pilot for, by all means let me know. Something someone has mentioned is to do a camper van tank, which yeah, sounds pretty cool, because obviously Crazy Dave does need somewhere to live. So that might be something I might be making soon. But yeah, leave comments guys, or what you'd like to see me scratch build and have Crazy Dave as the pilot. As you can see, the X-Wing has gone together, well, really nicely. So now on to the TIE Fighter. Again, with the TIE Fighter, it came with a few options. So I printed basically all the options off and then decided which ones I was going to go for. Again, everything's gone together nicely here. Obviously, I have resized this, say 50% of the original, and yeah, it still came out really nice looking. So yeah, simple case of gluing it together. Try not to glue my fingers together, which normally does kind of happen. So guys, if you are interested in sort of Star Wars kind of things, then yeah, definitely go and check out Dark Fire Designs. Again, yeah, link in the description. Yeah, go and show them some love. So the other part obviously I wanted to print out was the Deathstar, and this I just found on Thingiverse. There's a whole variety of different sort of style sort of plates that you can print off, and I printed off, well, quite a lot. So I wanted this to be nice and secure, so I'm using the MDF board that I basically I bought loads of these sheets, just because it was cheaper to buy in bulk. So yeah, so I've got a lot of these sheets which I kind of need to use really. But yeah, good stuff, easy to cut. Well, say easy to cut. I had to cut about, score it about three, four, maybe 5 times. But yeah, on the whole, it's nice that you can just use it or score it with a blade, and you'd have to use like a hacksaw or anything else. So I've got some foam board pieces left over. I'm just going to use these to obviously bulk out in the area. As you can see, it hasn't gone together too well, but I do fix that later on. You'll see that I make that a bit better. And yeah, good old Gorilla Glue, which is my kind of go-to glue for most things, because I know it won't eat into any kind of polystyrene or that sort of stuff. And yeah, just stick on the tiles. I've not really kept to any pattern. I know when you print these off, there is actually a PDF that you can follow just to make it look more accurate to the actual Deathstar. Yeah, and as the title says, I love using Grout. This is a great stuff just for filling in any gaps, any mistakes, and that's exactly what I do here. So that's why I wasn't too bothered that these sort of panels that I glued together didn't line up too well, because I thought, well, I can just cover them in Grout, and then obviously I'm going to cover them in tiles, so they're not going to be seen. And the edge bits of the polystyrene I cut off later on, just so I wanted it all nice and neat. So yeah, obviously the Grout is a great filler, but obviously it does act as a glue or adhesive, and obviously it does sort of keep everything down. So yeah, originally I did print off loads and loads of these tiles, and I kind of thought I had enough. But as you can see, I had about half enough, so I did have to print out loads more. And again, I was doing these on the Anycubic Photon Mono X, and I think I was printing off about a dozen at a time, so I was getting quite a few each go. But yeah, I did kind of end up using more than I originally thought. But that's fine. So I'm really pleased with the overall look. And I say I've actually loved Star Wars as a kid and as an adult. So yeah, you'll see quite a few sort of, not exactly Star Wars stuff, but so definitely sort of Star Wars related space kind of stuff. Especially now I'm getting into the Warhammer 40k kill teams, and I do want to do some sort of futuristic space sort of stuff for that. So yeah, I primed everything in black and then do a bit of dry brushing. Initially just going over with the grey. Yeah, I'd say dry brushing is so simple, so easy. I think it's really quite effective on this. And then once I've gone over the whole thing with a grey dry brush, I do then go over with some silver. And I do exactly the same to both the X-Wing and the TIE Fighter. Yeah, just give them a bit of grey and a bit of silver. But you will see in a minute with the X-Wing, I then go over it with some speed paint, which is great because the speed paint goes over these, and because there's like a metal underneath, it kind of gives it a metallic look, which is yeah, which is pretty cool. So obviously this is me doing the silver bits, again just going over really lightly, just to sort of catch all the edges. And yeah, time to slap on that speed paint. Yeah, I suppose speed paints, contrast paints, I absolutely love these, especially with say the black primer and then some dry brushing, just because the speed paints still show through all the highlights and the dark areas from below, as well as obviously adding their own sort of highlights. So yeah, lovely stuff to use. I just want to say a big thank you to all my patrons, as well as my normal sponsors, as well as Dark Fire Designs for sponsoring this video, and for obviously sending me the STLs so I could make these this little video. So I really have wanted to make well, quite a few scenes I really want to make from Star Wars, and obviously this is one of the main ones that I absolutely love. Probably more so because I just love TIE Fighters. If you have seen one of my, well, not exactly a recent video, but a very old video where I actually make a TIE Fighter out of sprues, and I'm really pleased with the result of that. And obviously I've got Crazy Dave driving that one. So this makes a change for Crazy Dave to actually be in the X-Wing. Obviously followed Hot Pursuit with the TIE Fighter. So yeah, as you can see, I've really printed out a very small Crazy Dave. Normally I will make Crazy Dave the regular size to all the miniatures that I use, and I'd make the figure sort of fit him. But again, in this case, because I knew the scene I was going to make, I didn't want to make it too big, otherwise it just wouldn't fit on my desk. Which is why I say everything is scaled down about 50%. So that's everything painted, and now it's just a case of getting things in their position. As you can just see there with the TIE Fighter, it was just a case of gluing down the wing at an angle. Good old super glue, leave it enough time, and yeah, it's solid. Obviously it could be knocked, but I don't generally knock these sort of things, as obviously this is going to be just a display and nothing else. A little moving turret there. I was going to try and get some like LEDs, the old like lights, but I can't find any. So if you guys know where I can get these kind of LEDs that are the long thin ones, yeah, please let me know, because I really would like to have made some sort of proper LEDs. But as you can see, I just used a couple of Lego ones instead. And there we go, Crazy Dave flying the X-Wing to well, blow up the Death Star. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to check out Darkfire Designs and let me know in the comments what you'd like me to scratch build for Crazy Dave. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care guys, bye for now.